Hello, and welcome to Homeowner AF, the Canadian first-time homebuying podcast. I'm Brianna Goslin, mortgage agent level 2, and I work with Canadian first-time homebuyers every single day. If you want to own real estate in Canada but aren't sure how to position yourself to get there, this is the podcast for you. I want to see more young Canadians in the market, building equity and long-term wealth. That starts with getting the right advice at the right time, so you're positioned to act when it matters. Each week, I'll bring you bite-sized episodes that actually move the needle toward homeownership. Short, strategic, and packed with practical tips that you can use right away. I'll cover topics like minimum down payment, closing costs, credit, co-signers, and more. Remember, your finances are like a thumbprint. No two are the same. For advice tailored specifically to you, book your free call at briecallme.com. Now, let's get into it. Hi, and welcome to Homeowner AF. Today, I'm going to walk you through what happens after you've been pre-approved. Because a lot of folks, they rush to get the pre-approval done and then they feel a bit overwhelmed because they think, oh, okay, now what? What's the next step? Well, here's the first one. If you don't have one already, now it's time to choose your realtor. Now, this is really easy and fun because you get to connect with somebody who you're probably going to be spending a lot of time with. So take your time and do your research and make sure that you are working with somebody who kind of gets you and who you feel comfortable with and you feel will be the best person to guide you through your purchase of your first home. I know lots of realtors and I work with some fantastic folks across Ontario. So if you need a referral, absolutely please reach out. But you should also be looking at that person's social media footprint. So look at all of their socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, if that's where they're showing up. And also review some recent Google reviews to see what other folks are saying about their experience with that realtor. Now, once you've chosen your player, your realtor who's going to help you look at these awesome houses, you can get out house hunting. So you're going to look at all sorts of properties and likely your purchase price or your maximum purchase price will determine what kind of places you're looking at. Once you find the one or one that could be the one, I have a request. I request that you send me the MLS listing because I'm going to help you determine what your maximum offer price is on that specific property, as well as make sure that you are ready to fulfill your condition of financing within those 5 days. So first of all, the reason that I'm asking for the listing is for a couple reasons. We need to look at that property tax amount that you're going to be paying annually for that property. When you're pre-approved, we use a placeholder that's usually slightly inflated for the area that you're in to make sure that you can affordably pay that property tax, and we've included that in your debt ratios. So we make sure that your file has taken that into account. Now, if the property tax is quite a bit higher than what we have put in your pre-approval, then that will affect your maximum purchase price. So just a note there. And then, of course, if it's quite a bit lower, for example, if you're looking at rural properties where you had before been looking at properties in town, you might have a lower tax payment, and that could affect the terms of your pre-approval, and you could actually potentially purchase for more. So we'll look at property tax amount for sure. The other thing I'm going to review is whether the property you're looking at has any income potential. So a legal basement apartment, an accessory unit that's currently earning rental income, these could all factor into your maximum allowed purchase price because it is income that we have on the file if you are renting out that apartment. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that those MLS listings get to me so that you can have an ironclad and strong offer going into offer night. Now, again, I'm going to let you know what your monthly or bi-weekly payment will look like based on current rates. And I say current rates because you will have obtained a rate hold as part of your pre-approval. But I'm recording this in March 2026 and rates are fluctuating. They're fluctuating daily. So if there is a lower interest rate than you've been pre-approved at, then we can factor that into your maximum offer price, and we may be able to even get you a stronger offer based on current rates. But that's a day-to-day thing. So of course you need to know when you're going to be offering, and you need to send that MLS listing before you make that offer, and just assume that lower rates are available. Now, the other thing I'm looking at is if there's any red flags in the property itself. Because many first-time home buyers are entering into insured mortgages, you're going to want to make sure that that property will pass the lender's guidelines, but also the insurers, because there's two people who are going to be, or two entities that are going to be reviewing your deal to make sure that they want to lend on it. Now, what could throw out an insurer or a lender? Certain things like a property that's not in great shape. So if it has foundation issues, if it has any structural issues, that may be something that a lender or insurer will not want to lend on. And that's something that I will flag if you bring the property to me beforehand. Now, I say all this because we don't want to offer on a property and give your deposit on offer night and all of that jazz when it's all for naught, when the property is actually not able to be lended on, or if you just ultimately cannot afford the offer that you're putting in. So you always want to do your due diligence before you are putting in that offer. Now, another thing that we're going to do when you send me that MLS and say, hey, Marie, I'm ready to make an offer, is I will review your file to look for anything outstanding or anything outdated. Because when you have an accepted offer, we're going to want to update those job letters and pay stubs, because we have to have something current within 30 days of your accepted offer. So I will ask you for that if you are offering and we have some outdated documents on hand. I'll also review with you your down payment, where it's coming from, who it's coming from, and make sure that our ducks are in a row so that we can fund your mortgage quickly and get everything wrapped up within that 5-day condition of financing. I'm also going to put a little bug in your ear to say, hey, don't forget, you do need a financing contingency, because that is the responsible way to purchase when you are a first-time home buyer. You want to make sure that everything is locked, sealed, and tight before you go firm on that purchase. That's what's happening in the financing side when you are house hunting. The next episode will be, I've got an accepted offer, now what? So what happens in that conditional period before you're firm on your purchase? I will be in your podcast queue next week with that. And if you have any questions about what I talked about today, hit the show notes or get a hold of me on Instagram or via email. All my information is below in the show notes, and I look forward to chatting with you next week. Thanks for listening to Homeowner AF, the Canadian first-time home buying podcast. You'll find links to everything I mentioned in today's episode in the show notes, along with details on how to connect with me. I welcome all of your first-time home buying questions. Send me a voice note to have your question featured on air. And if you're ready to talk through specifics for your first home purchase, you can book a free call at breecallme.com. Remember, if home ownership is your goal, you could be closer than you think. You just need the right information to make the right move. I'll be back next week with another tidbit to help you get there.